Hey everybody, thanks for joining me to transforming Trailhead's login and sign up experience with Salesforce Identity. I'd like to kick things off. Oh, can't see my presentation. All right, thank you. I'd like to kick things off with a quote. With great power comes great responsibility. And well, you all know who has this, who made that quote. I'd like to actually flip it. With great responsibility comes great power. And the reason I'm flipping it is because if any of you are responsible for the login and sign up experience for your company, you know it comes with a lot of responsibility. Because even the slightest problem in a login or sign up experience, or even a bad user experience, can not only hurt financially your company, but also create a bad reputation. And that takes me to our agenda for today, where I'll talk about where my team had that responsibility of transforming the logging and sign-up experience for Trailhead. And we'll talk a little bit about what problems and what identity-related problems we were trying to solve. I'll do a quick demo about the solution, about how we solved it. We'll then transform to talk a little bit about what happens behind the scenes, what identity features on the platform we took advantage of. And last, if you'll stick all the way to the end, I'll give you a sneak peek into what's coming next for us. So with that lengthy intro, just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Rafael Cabeza, and I'm a product manager in the identity team. Before I actually get started, just a quick forward-looking statement. Please make your decision based on what's available today in the market. So with that, I'd like all of you to meet Astro. Astro is a new hire at Acme Corp. And Astro, on his first day, his manager comes to him and asks, hey, Astro, there's this platform called Trailhead. I want you to take a few training modules as part of your onboarding. So Astro goes to Trailhead, and then he sees all these login options. And while he has a login credential for his Acme Corp Salesforce account, Astro can think of a few other options to sign up or log in, so Astro is kind of stumped. And that takes me to the question, who is Astro? Is Astro necessarily just tied to that credential for Salesforce org, the production org for Acme Corp? But Acme also assigned to Astro a Google account, a corporate Google account. So Astro can use that as well, right? Astro also has a very prominent LinkedIn profile. So why not use that? And another secret that Astro is holding is that he has an alter ego called Super Astro. And Super Astro has his own developer edition account and a private Google account. And each of those Google accounts, the corporate one and the personal one, of course, come with an email. So if you followed me so far, that's 7 different options to sign up or log in, right? Should that matter which one he uses? I don't think so. Another problem Astro runs into, what happens if as Astro at Acme, Astro created an account, and at Super Astro, he used the personal Google account and had 2 separate accounts. What happens for the achievements and badges and that he accumulated separately? Shouldn't they all count towards his rank? Astro is Astro after all, right? And last, and maybe something that was really top of mind for us to solve, what happens if Astro leaves Acme Corp for whatever reason, does that mean that if Astro lost its credentials to the Salesforce Acme Corp account, then all his badges, all the achievements have gone to waste? Astro wouldn't be happy. So let's see how we solve for some of those things. So what I have here is Astro logged into Acme Corp's production org. And if you remember, the first problem we had is the confusion. What does Astro sign up with, right? So one of the features we implemented is what we call the product to learning experience. And that enables a Salesforce admin to create a link directly from the product, from the Salesforce org to Trailhead that basically bypasses all that confusion. So Acme Corp's Salesforce admin did that, and we have this Trailhead link here. So Astro clicks it, and notice that I bypassed that sign up page, right? I just used the Salesforce credential coming from the org to kick off the sign up experience. Similar will happen with the login. I'll just get logged in. So you can already see that I have Astro pre-populated with first name, last name, Astro's profile picture, and even a suggested vanity URL. A few more steps here to complete the sign up. And Astro's agreeing to the terms of service. And when Astro completes the sign up process, he gets logged into Trailhead and can start learning. So let's say some time passed by, Astro got logged out, Astro bookmarked the Trailhead page and comes back and clicks login. And that's the second thing that we did to alleviate that problem of what happens the second time you come back and you don't remember what you signed out with. That's what we call our hint page. And that tells Astro, oh, last time you logged in with Salesforce. Do you want to do the same now? But that's based on the browser. That's assuming that you're coming in from the same browser. Let's say Astro uses mobile device, and one of the things that wasn't existing in the previous login and sign up experience is login or sign up with email. And let's say Astro wants to log in with the email he has. So one thing I wanted to say before I click the login option here is if you notice, at no point Astro provided the email address or set up a password. So how's that going to work, right? So once I click login here, I get a one-time password. So that's another thing we try to alleviate our users is the need to remember another password, and more importantly, a secure one. So you get a one-time password every time you want to log in with email. So all I have to do is copy this one-time password, and when I'll paste it, I can get logged in. But there's another step that we added here to alleviate that last problem we talked about. In here, in the identity management, we noticed, Astro, you only have one login method. We don't want you to lose access to your account. So here we're prompting users that have only one login method to please add a personal login recovery option so they can always get back to their account no matter at what company people work at. And same, we're prompting Astro that signed up with his Acme Corp account. For demo purposes, I'll skip that screen. So again, I'm logged into the same exact place. If we'll go to the settings page, you see this is the Acme Corp Salesforce account, and I logged in with the email. But let's say that Astro got logged out again, and again he's on a different device, and from all the options he thinks he used Google to sign up, so he chooses Google. And notice that I have two options here. The other one for Super Astro. We'll get to that later. So Astro clicks the Acme Google account that he was assigned. And what you'll see here is what we call our linking screen. This is where we identify that Astro's Salesforce account and Astro Google corporate account share the same email. We say, hey, Astro, we're not going to create a new account for you and send you off onto two different accounts. We'll actually just link those two login methods and log you in. So I got linked. I got logged in. Everything good. But if you remember, there was one more problem we need to solve for, right? What happens if Astro, as Super Astro, actually signed up with his alter ego account? So let's do that quickly. So Super Astro doesn't share any details with Astro, so we don't know it's the same user. So we sign up with Super Astro, again, picking up all the details like the last time, first name, last name, and profile picture. We finished the sign-up process. Now Super Astro is an account. And let's say as Super Astro earns badges, earns achievements, etc. But then it was like, wait, I have also badges and achievements with Astro. I want to actually have them combined. So what you do here is click Connect Google, and then we're connecting the other Google account here. We approve the linking of that Google account. And once I'm back on the identity system, we identify, hey, Astro, we noticed you own the Astro account and the Super Astro account. Let's merge them and have all your achievements, all your badges, all your orgs combined into just one account. Because in the end, Astro is Astro, even if he's wearing a cape. So that was the demo. I want to talk now a little bit about what's happening behind the scenes. So the first thing I want to talk about is what we call Auth Providers. So Auth Providers is really probably your first place you want to stop if you want to enable social sign-on to your community. So if you're building a community for your customers and you want to give them social sign-on, Auth Provider is what you want to set up. You do have to go into the social provider, create login credentials there, which means key and secret that you then put into the Auth Provider. And then all it takes is really checking a box in the community setup to enable that social login. If you want to get into the details of how to set it up, I recommend this Identity for Customer module that will walk you through the steps. The next thing I wanted to mention is connected apps. Connected apps is our mechanism for any third-party website to interact with Salesforce APIs. So in our case, the Trailblazer.me, the identity service, we're separate from Trailhead. Trailhead runs on Heroku, actually. So two different stacks completely. And then the way we allow Trailhead to talk to our service is through a connected app. Again, if you want to learn more about the details of how you set security policies for connected app and how you set it up, there's a brand new module called Connected App Basics that I recommend. Next on the list is what we call embedded login. Embedded login is what you see on the top right in your Trailhead website. So the same thing can actually be embedded, as you can imagine, in any website. So embedded login, in this screenshot below, you see how I took the Trailblazer.me login and put it into our Fix Coffee demo website. So some of you might be familiar with Fix Coffee. We use it a lot. If you want to do it yourself, you have a community login, and you want to see how to use embedded login for a third-party website, there's a great example in this GitHub link on the bottom that can walk you through, and that's actually exactly what I did to put Trailblazer.me on Fix Coffee. Next thing I want to talk about is custom login flows. That's another relatively new feature that we use, and I think can benefit you greatly. And that means the step where a user is already authenticated and is just before you let them into the community or your website, you can progressively ask the user for information, data, just like we did with our sign-up process or our recovery page where we ask for another login. So you can do similar things, and then based on user's action, you can decide if you want to present another screen or even log out the user if that makes sense. So that custom login flow is another great feature on the platform. The next thing that we are using and is very, very new, this is really from the couple last releases in Salesforce, is the consent architecture. So there's a lot of new consent objects that got built as standard objects in the platform. And the first one that if you need to comply with GDPR, and I know most of us do, then the first object that you want to pay attention to is the individual object, which lets you track a lot of the relevant information for users, contacts, or accounts on that object. So that object gets tied through the owner ID to the user. In our case, can be to a contact in your case or whatever else you use. And the second part we use in that consent system is the Authorization Form consent and text. So this is where if you're getting an agreement to a legal form, like Astro, check that box in the bottom. So that's our terms of service. And not only you can record it using the form and what language was recorded in, you also record the moment of consent, when that was provided, and tie all these objects through the IDs to the user and to that legal document object. So as I promised, a little bit about what's next for us as we continue building this identity service. You might have already guessed this. We're going to do the same thing for Trailblazer Community and App Exchange. If you notice on the top right, those login and sign up buttons look a little different than the ones you use today to log in into Trailblazer Community. So we're overhauling the experience for them too, so they use the same identity service. As part of that, we're also looking to do the same for your event sign-up experience. So if any of you was frustrated by creating new accounts for every Salesforce event you go, that's another thing we're going to change. And all of that won't really mean a lot unless we have a great centralized unified profile for all these Salesforce properties you engage with. So this is the unified profile that we're also working to build, and we're using the Lightning Web Component framework here to build this unified profile that will include all your activity from Trailhead, all your certification achievements, all your engagement in the community, your votes, your ideas, etc. In one place. Last, I just wanted to point you out to a few more resources. So there's the External Identity Implementation Guide, a very detailed guide on how to implement Salesforce Identity. I already mentioned the Identity for Customers Trailhead module. And if you want to ask questions, go to the Salesforce Identity chatter group on Trailblazer Community. And last, I mentioned the embedded login GitHub example, but there's other code samples on our Salesforce Identity GitHub. I'm practically out of time, so I can't take any question now, but I'll stick around on the side, and so feel free to come by and ask any questions. With that, thank you for attending. I hope you enjoy the rest of the X.